Hi, this is Drew Jones of Drew's Guitar Shop in Seattle, Washington. This video is going to be a little bit different from a lot of the videos that I normally upload on this channel, which are usually tutorials and talking about guitars and guitar related stuff, usually a specific guitar related thing to the thing I'm working on the bench. But this video is to basically announce that I am back open for business and that I have a new location. I'm still in West Seattle. But my new location, it's not necessarily super ideal, at least as far as I'm concerned, but it's going to definitely work for me. I've moved into an active space, and so it's basically one of those big buildings with a whole bunch of people doing all kinds of different hobbies and crafts and different workplaces and all that. But it's going to work. I actually really like the setup that I currently have. It's going to work out really well. And I look forward to getting back to work. Honestly, it's been a number of months down for me, and that's been hard on me financially. It's been stressful, and honestly, I just really enjoy the work that I do, and so I'm not really satisfied unless I'm kind of working on guitars and doing something. Which the financial end of that. And some related things that I kind of wanted to talk about briefly. This may get into some territory that may offend some of my viewers, but I ask please that you bear with me and kind of listen to what I have to say on the topic, because I'm going to get political here for a minute. So Seattle has been my home for years. I moved up here in 2006 to work on guitars. I moved up here to build guitars, and I've seen the demographics change here a lot over the years. I've seen the price points of the apartments and everything continue to rise, we saw a spike of that a number of years ago when Amazon moved in, and there's just been a lot of real hard times for people living in this city. Now, the thing is about that is that we're seeing the death of a lot of little businesses. So like here in West Seattle, there's a number of places, like I know Husky Deli is looking at having their building torn down. I have seen the same thing with a number of places in the U District. So these are small little community places that are really integral parts to the communities that they are in. Like Husky Deli has been there for 85 years. It is part of this community, a lot of this has to do with rising rents, rising cost of real estate, and people who work in real estate seeing opportunities where maybe it would be better to think about people and communities. So a lot of these places are getting sold. So the Husky Deli isn't going out of business because Husky Deli wants to go out of business. Husky Deli is going out of business because the person who owns the building is selling the property on it, and they're tearing it down to build condos. Now, that is unfortunately exactly what happened to my last location. I'm used to working from home, but in the last 2 years, I have had 2 houses sold out from under me by landlords and housing companies in order to do something else with that property. And so, our first place back in 2018, we got real short notice, and we needed to move out real quick, and had to rush and hustle and get all this money together and find a new place to go. And then we found the new place to go, and it was like we breathed a little sigh of relief for a minute, and then all of a sudden the same thing is happening. And so part of the reason that I'm in this active space is because this kind of separates that my income source from the potential of losing a house because a landlord decides that he wants to do something with it. Now, fortunately, landlords can just do that. They can just decide that they're just going to sell a property out from under somebody, and as long as they give the legal notice, they just do it. So it unfortunately what that leads to is the displacing of a whole bunch of people from communities that have been their homes for years, sometimes displacing people from houses that they've been in for decades, and that just sucks. And it sucks for small businesses, and it sucks for communities, because I think about all the venues around here that might be closing too. Like man, what would happen like if, High Dive or Nectar, like, just had their property bulldozed so that somebody could put up some ugly fucking, apartment complex on top of them. I mean, it's sickening to me, because this music community is really important to me, and the people who are involved with it are important to me. And I really like Seattle. I really like this city. It's got a lot of character, and I don't want to see that character just, bulldozed over so that we can make a whole bunch of, cut and paste apartment complexes all over the place, so that landlords can make, a whole bunch more money off of people. Especially considering the rents. Like, my rent at the place that we moved out of in 2018, this was, a few years back, like, jumped up on us like $400 in one go. And $400 is a lot, but I also had a friend who was living up in Capitol Hill whose rent went up $800 in one shot, and the reason for that was just because they could, just because Amazon had moved in and they decided that they were going to raise the rent. So there's a lot of displacement happening here in Seattle. There's a lot of people who are ending up homeless as a result of exactly what I'm talking about. Some of whom don't have social networks, some of whom end up in homeless shelters, some of whom end up, sleeping in these tents that unfortunately people also just complain about. I mean, where else are they gonna go? But there's just so many problems associated with this. I don't necessarily have a good solution. If you look behind me, this is my life, this is what I'm good at, this is what I've been doing for like the last 20-something years. I'm not an economist. I take interest in things, and I do a lot of reading about different topics. And I've seen solutions to this sort of thing that I like, and I've seen solutions that I don't like. I don't like the sweeps, for example, that are going on right now, where we're seeing cops just rounding up all of these homeless people's stuff and throwing them in trash compactors while they watch, and arresting people, and moving people from basically one encampment to another, and making life harder on people who are already having really rough times. That's, in my opinion, a really bad solution to what's going on, when maybe some better solutions could be investing in public housing, things like Section 8, HUD. HUD has been defunded for decades by numerous administrations, both Democratic and Republican, and we see cuts made to food stamps by both Democrats and Republicans, and we see all sorts of programs that would help, and we also don't see any kind of like proactive legislation, things like rent control, like is present in some cities but not present in Seattle. So like, if you move into a place, like, there's nothing stopping a landlord from just deciding that they're gonna basically evict you by charging you an extra $1,000 rent. Like, that can happen. It's a thing. So here's the real political part of my video. I've got my King County ballot here, and I'm going to be voting in the primary for Bernie Sanders. I think that Bernie Sanders represents a change in our politics that we haven't seen in this country for decades and decades and decades, if ever. I don't think that he's going to fix every single problem. In fact, I don't think that he's going to be able to get a lot of the things that he's wanting to do done, because there's going to be a lot of people fighting him on doing a lot of the good things that he's talking about. And there may be people watching this video who disagree with a number of the things that he's talking about. But I will say this: I think that and I gotta say, I'm not normally somebody who gets really excited about political candidates. Normally, I'm a super jaded. I won't say apathetic, because I do care a lot, but I'll say that I've been very disenchanted over the years, just watching a lot of really bad decisions be made, and tax money going where it shouldn't, and and this, that, and the other thing. And But I gotta say, I am excited about Bernie Sanders. I am excited about a lot of the things that he wants to accomplish, and I'm excited about how successful he's been in the primary so far. I'm asking, and well, I'm maybe suggesting, asking is kind of a strong word. I'm suggesting that people maybe cast their vote for Bernie Sanders to help out with situations like in Seattle, like the one that displaced my shop and my housing, and you know, has done the same with other people, because it's been very, very rough for so many people. And I mean, my life has been rough, but I've also got a lot of friends who are having a lot of hard times right now, and it's nothing that anybody asks for. I mean, there's only so much that you can do about rent, housing, and you know, what your boss is paying you, and you know, what jobs are available to you in a given setting. I mean, you know, there's this notion of this like meritocracy and you know, the bootstraps and all that, but I mean, the reality is it's actually, you know, we're actually, all of us are dealing with a lot of struggles on a daily basis, and it would be really cool to see somebody get in office that's interested in doing some real things about those struggles, instead of maybe, and again, I hate to offend people on my channel, but instead of maybe using that money to, you know, bomb the shit out of some Middle Eastern communities, because I don't like seeing that either. So anyway, that has been my this is where I've been video, and my probably one political video that I'm going to post to this channel. Hopefully I don't need to post any more of these, and you know, I'm looking forward to getting more work in. So like, if you have, you know, work that you need done and you're in the Seattle area, definitely be happy to hear from you, and I'd be happy to do the work for you. Thank you for watching this video. This has been Drew Jones of Drew's Guitar Shop in Seattle, Washington. Have a great one.